my concern is not so much what happens in the classroom or what doesn't happen in the classroom. It's what's happening in our communities and our families. I think we would be so much better off if families took more responsibility and engagement in what happens with the children here. And it seems that we become so consumer-oriented that, and I'm talking stereotypes, of course, but we drop the kids off at school and something magical is supposed to happen, doesn't happen, they come home. So everybody feels engagement, feels connection, feels responsibility for what happens to here. So I did. I got in the talking about how every kind of stakeholder you can imagine talks about what he or she does, connecting to because it's my.
So that they can become better learners and better thinkers in order to.
What's interesting, see, I don't know about that project. I am.
The takeaway that stands out for me was something that was said by David Fraser.
In some way, and that it takes leadership to articulate that conversation, but mostly that it's a conversation that will take place over time is really important. Not to be impatient with the process. My contribution to the larger system as a principal to raise the culture of my school to be accepted.
Before Fred can speak to that, let me just.
But I'm glad they are trying to recruit local people to teach here because the locals tend to come back and want to stay, and they're just looking for a job. But 1,200. So we have to bring in from the outside.
And that's why I think the first way it relates to empowerment, because when you empower the schools, instead of having the whole system needs to change, it's just the school needs to change, and they can go faster, we could be more agile. And then the other thing was that, which is kind of
in government and how they all need to work together, and you're part of that too, about feeding them, making sure they're fed, they get the right kind of food, that they're mentally healthy, physically healthy. If you take care of those kinds of issues and problems, I think a lot of the other things will fall into place. So it's kind of a basic foundational thing that I think we need to look at also, besides teachers and schools and principals.